And ladies and gentlemen, we are live on Google Hangouts and YouTube, the official YouTube page, Rope Break Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, the esteemed panel of legendary marks. Ladies and gentlemen, Alec Kozubski.
What's going on, guys? How you doing today?
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Donato.
I think I was supposed to clap for Alec and I didn't, so I apologize. What's going on, Rope Breakers?
And, of course, the hostess with the mostest. And by hostess, I don't mean lady.
That's kind of what a hostess is. You
I
kind of called yourself
the whole effing show. Forget Donato and Alec. It's AuSSy. And we are, once again, live on YouTube. This is Rope Break Radio episode 13. And for those of you watching live on YouTube, a little bit of information for you guys. If we, at any point in this show, which, by the way, will run for 1 hour, at any point in the show, if we reach 15 viewers, we will be doing a giveaway. Holy shit, did he say giveaway?
I think you did. I think you did.
I've watched other wrestling podcasts, and they don't do giveaways.
Well, they suck. Obviously.
I mean, I'm used to sitting in the bleachers and watching from the bleachers, or watching cage side. But no, now we're here. It's Rope Break Wrestling, and we're giving shit away as usual. So tell all your friends, hide your kids, hide your wife, get everybody watching. If we reach 15 viewers at any point in the show, we will be doing a free giveaway. Once again, free, completely free. We don't even make you pay to ship the shit. Comes right out of our pocket, and then we eat ramen noodles for the next week.
Yeah, there you go. We're good with that.
Yeah, so, we're all right. We're all right with that.
So, some of the topics we're going to cover today include brand extension, something that I think all three of us here at Rope Break want to see. Obviously, we're always open to answering your questions. And the cool thing about this particular podcast is we're going to give you the opportunity to join us live. If you actually have the satchel to get up here live with us, you can ask your question live. Whether you have a webcam or a microphone, you can ask the Rope Breakers live, get your 15 seconds of fame. Who knows? Maybe we'll rib you while you're on the podcast. You know,
I got a question.
Go ahead, Jabroni.
Why do they need a man purse in order to be on the show? You said satchel. It's a man purse. Why do they need one?
By satchel, I meant something that you see, Alec. Alec, he wouldn't know. He wouldn't know. I mean satchel of balls.
I knew you were going, but it's also a man purse.
Oh, you didn't know?
You're fired. You're fired.
No. Ready. Before we get into this, and everybody that's watching is like, Jesus Christ, would you start the show already? Before we get into it, I'm going to formally fire Matt right now. Ready? You're fired! Thank you. Still better. Okay, so let's get right into the show. Why don't we start right off with brand extension? I mean, that was our main entree for today's show. So I see no reason not to start with that. And when I say brand extension, for those of you that are maybe unsure what brand extension means, it's kind of going back to the separate Raw and SmackDown. Raw versus SmackDown, if you will. The days when we had the Heavyweight Championship on one program and the WWE Championship on another. For a good portion, it was Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown and WWE Championship on Raw. So, guys, first off, all in favor of brand extension, say aye.
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 Okay, and Alec, why don't you go ahead and explain why you think brand extension would be a smart option for them at this point?
You know, in the current state that the WWE is in, I think in order to get more viewers watching, boost the network, whatever they need to do, a brand extension needs to happen. Because back in the day when we were younger and they had two separate programs, there was a reason to tune in every week. So, for example, when they had the split championships with the split brands, on Raw, say you had John Cena was champion, on SmackDown, Undertaker was heavyweight champion. That gave you a reason to tune in because, hey, favorite guys are on one program, favorite guys are on another, so you watch that. The storylines are separate, and it gives you a reason to tune in each week so you can see how each storyline progresses instead of now you watch Raw and that's the bulk of the story, and then SmackDown's just like, well, here's a bunch of matches that we're just going to show you again on Raw on Monday.
Exactly. Yeah. Matt, I mean, you want to piggyback off that?
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you. It also gives them a chance to kind of stretch out the talent. They have so many talent backstage. You know, having that brand extension, it'll stretch it out, allows some guys to go to SmackDown. And I even went as far as saying when they were doing the whole Triple H Vince McMahon storyline, which obviously they're not doing anymore, they gave up with that. They should have had Triple H, because he had so much momentum, go over to SmackDown, take the heavyweight championship back there, have Vince McMahon on Raw with the WWE championship, and have like a feud. I think having a feud between the two brands, having two leaders of each brand, really, really helps and keeps people interested, and that would make them probably a good amount of money and probably wouldn't have to be making so many stupid cuts.
Yeah, I agree. And before I really get into what I was saying, to those of you who might just be tuning in now, this is Rope Break Radio episode 13, and if at any point in the podcast we get 15 viewers, we will be doing a giveaway right here on the show. So if you're watching and you know somebody that's not, like Matt likes to say, if you know somebody that's not watching the show, you're not a good friend.
Yeah.
Go out there.
It's the truth.
Let them know this is the best damn show on YouTube. I don't care who else is out there. YouTube personalities. It doesn't matter. It's all about Rope Break for life. So anyways, we're talking about brand extension. Both Alec and Matt are in favor, and of course I am in favor as well. And piggybacking off what they said, especially what Alec said right off the rip, is the fact that it makes you care about watching the other show. Because as of right now, we watch Raw, and then all SmackDown is, hey, this is what happened on Raw. And then they'll give you a couple matches that, like Alex said, will just be shown again on Monday Night Raw. How often lately have we gotten the, this Monday night we're going to have a rematch of SmackDown's main event, 6-man tag match? It's like...
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, so basically what you're saying is I don't need to watch SmackDown because the same shit's going to happen again later. That's what you're telling me. Like Alex said, back in the day, you'd have Undertaker on one show, Cena on the other, so you've got meaningful characters that make you want to tune into both shows. Like Matt said, you could have piggybacked, or you could have ran with the Authority storyline in the beginning there and had Triple H on SmackDown and McMahon on Raw and had those two battling. Now, here's a unique proposal that I've got for you guys, and of course I'm interested to know what everybody on YouTube says. What if brand extension went to drop SmackDown? I know this is a radical decision because we've had SmackDown since, I believe, 1999. Why not drop SmackDown and bring NXT to the network? And by the network, I don't mean the WWE network. I mean network television, as in, what the fuck's it on now? Sci-Fi still?
Yeah, still on Sci-Fi, unfortunately.
Sci-Fi. So maybe you bring NXT to Sci-Fi, or maybe you just say F Sci-Fi and you leave it on the network, and that, dropping SmackDown may get more viewers on NXT, but have more main level talent going back and forth on NXT and make that meaningful. I'm interested to know what you guys think about that. Why not focus more on NXT and giving those superstars an avenue to get over, and in a show that, if it's anything like SmackDown, isn't going to get viewed that by that many people anyways. Why not give them the TV time?
That, See, this is where I differ in opinion. I
Well,
don't
it's
know
not
that
even
having.
necessarily an opinion. I'm just throwing it out there for you guys to,
Oh, okay. So you're saying it's not something that you personally agree or disagree with. You're just trying to figure out what everybody else thinks. All right,
yeah, I'm
gotcha.
interested to know.
I don't think it's a terrible idea, but I think that I don't know, moving it up to the network wouldn't be bad. But again, NXT for a lot of people is pretty much one of the only reasons people go and watch the WWE network. Other than obviously having the pay-per-views there, that's the second reason. So taking that off, you could just buy it for the pay-per-views, but I mean, is it a big enough show to be able to handle itself? I don't know. It would be weird to me to not have SmackDown. I think that's where I'm finding this issue is having SmackDown completely gone would just be weird, and I'm not ready to let go.
Well, here's a question for you. Here's a question for both you guys. As it stands right now, it sounds like you don't think NXT is necessarily ready for that.
Right.
Let me ask you this question. Which do you care more to watch right now? Would you rather watch an episode of NXT or an episode of SmackDown?
I would definitely rather watch an episode of NXT. I rarely watch SmackDown these days.
Yeah. Yes.
But would I rather watch NXT on not WWE network, but on network television, or SmackDown on network television? I don't know that. I mean, I would tune in. I don't know that I would want to watch it on Sci-Fi. I think that would ruin it. And that's another thing. Would putting it on network television give it the same fate as? Come on Sci-Fi, are you shitting me? Really? That's the worst channel to put anything on. And now coming up after SmackDown, Sharknado. Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to watch that garbage. Move it to USA Network, or you can't move it on Spike because you would destroy TNA with SmackDown. SmackDown's a better show. Anywho, sorry for all you TNA fans. It's a great show.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like I just would wonder if putting NXT off of the network and onto a network on TV network, would that ruin the show itself like it is with SmackDown? Would they automatically forget about that? They're thinking about NXT now because it's a huge draw on the network and gets people to sign up. You can only watch NXT on the network. Gets people like us excited. Okay, well, I guess that's cool. So if they take that off, that's one more reason for somebody not to order the network. And I think it's a huge draw for them. So I think, and would they forget about it if it was on television? And, like I said, not ready to let go of SmackDown yet.
Alec, I'm interested to know what you think. Would you rather see NXT on TV and SmackDown maybe dropped? And also, a little bit of extra to propose to you, Alec. Do you think that they should go to live for NXT? And if it was live, maybe having it on a network brand, would it be more interesting to you if it was on a network brand and live? I think, to be perfectly honest with you, as far as brand extension goes, unless they really decide to extend the brands there, SmackDown is just too stale. It's like a loaf of bread that's been sitting out for a week on the counter. It's no good. It's a throwaway.
Right. Yeah. With NXT, it's kind of a special product because, like Matt said, it is one of the biggest draws for the network because it's only available on the network. Moving it to a nationally televised network would do it some good, but at the same time, it could hurt it because, like with SmackDown now, the crowds are fabricated. Sometimes they'll edit the matches and do spots over again, and with NXT, it really is a pure wrestling product, and where you can watch it, you can enjoy the matches, enjoy the crowd. You really get immersed into it rather than SmackDown. So, I mean, would I want to see it on TV? Maybe eventually when, it's established itself as maybe WWE's next thing. But, as for now, I think it should stay on the network. And as for SmackDown, do I want it to go away? No, but I do think, officials backstage really need to sit down and evaluate that product. And if they want to continue to boost their numbers, and they really need to work towards SmackDown to make it better so that it is something worth watching on a channel like Sci-Fi where it's not really a big demographic of people who like wrestling.
To
Okay.
piggyback quickly off of that, I
Yeah.
actually completely agree with you, and I just wanted to quickly throw my 2 cents about it going live. Yes, the only way I think SmackDown is ever going to survive is if they go live. I know it's more money, and I know they're kind of right now SmackDown's getting the ECW treatment right now. I mean, it's like, what do we do with this guy? I have no idea. Throw him on SmackDown. That's pretty much what it is. And, if they want to get these guys to be better, live is the way to go. When you're watching, you can tell when you have these prefabricated, you have the applause box going. You can hear the fake applause when you have the same exact applause every time. When they're editing the volume on the crowd cheers, like, oh, he's booing for Bray Wyatt. How come they don't do that on Raw? That's weird.
Exactly. Yeah. They manufacture everything to be exactly what they want to get out of it rather than what normally does get out of it. Now, just to throw my last little bit on there, I do think there's one other way SmackDown can survive. Maybe you put SmackDown on the WWE network as an exclusive. I think that you might be able to boost subscribership there. Just thinking. The only issue is just like the pay-per-views, people can get live streams of the network, and I think that's the ultimate downfall. So until we fix that, the network is going to be what it is. But we've got a couple people weighing in on YouTube about the brand extension and about SmackDown. King Tracy Shiny Hunts. Is that what you want me to say? I'll say to you, as I say to every new viewer, you come onto our show and you don't even have the decency to tell us your name. What is your name? But he says, he or she, I'm assuming it's a he, and I can assume because I can do whatever I want. The 2008-2009 brand split was great. They actually gave SmackDown great stuff that you can see on Raw, like La Familia, The Undertaker, Jeff Hardy, and even Triple H at one point, and even Straight Edge Society. And he says, here's what I want. Raw, SmackDown, and NXT all on TV, like they did with ECW. They turned it into a developmental show. Can't argue against that. I think maybe all three of them on TV would be a good thing. Question is there a third avenue for a third show? Because right now, if you have to have the second best show on Sci-Fi, I'd hate to see where the third best show is going to go, or their third ranked show, I should say. Is it on fucking CMT or something? No disrespect to the Broken Skull Challenge, but
the Hub
that's
Network.
not the place for wrestling unless you're Global Force. Apparently, they're going to be on CMT.
No, I don't disagree with that either. Yeah.
Interesting point here, though, on the YouTube page from Aaron Mason, who's quickly challenging Westlin Coleman for the biggest rope breaker on the planet.
Uh-oh.
He says, "Is Sci-Fi bad or something?" In the UK, we get NXT on the same channels we get Raw and SmackDown. So that's an interesting bit there because sometimes we do forget. We do have a little bit of Zeb Coulter in us and forget that not everybody sees exactly the same thing as the Americans. So that's interesting to know that in Europe they get all three on the same channel because you have to remember they do not have the WWE network yet.
Right.
So,
I like that idea though, having them all on the same network. I think I'm going to move to the UK.
Yeah, well, originally what I had hoped or what I had thought was going to happen was the WWE network was going to be a network.
Yep.
A real channel.
That's what I thought
I don't know
too.
why they decided not to do that. Maybe it cost too much money or whatever. But that's aside that. But we've been talking about this topic for a little bit too long now. So we will go ahead and move on to our next topic, kind of on the same path as brand extension. Let's talk about splitting up the titles. Right now, in a brief little statement, because there's a lot of panicking going on the Facebook page. People, have the sweats, they're dry heaving, they've got diarrhea, they're getting nervous because Matt came on and had a little article about them possibly retiring the heavyweight championship. Let me just go ahead and read one comment that was on that page or on that post. It was I don't believe Matt has even seen it himself yet.
Nope.
It comes from Ryan Barbray. He says, this post needs to stop from all the wrestling websites because it's not true. Cena walked out after the show with both belts. Well, phew. I thought for sure Ric Flair was going to take the belt home with him.
I actually thought he was going to be the new World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah. The way he was strutting around and shit, I thought, he was getting back in the ring for good.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, come on, people. What we do here at Rope Break Wrestling is no different than any of the other sites as far as reporting the news goes. Just because we report something does not necessarily mean that we believe it. It doesn't necessarily mean that we agree with it. All we're doing is telling you, hey, listen up. We're hearing some shit. We want you guys to check it out.
Yes.
Because, again, all we are glorified fans. I mean, I'm a glorified fan with a pretty badass Brock Lesnar poster behind me, but that's besides the fact. And Trish Stratus's breasts are right above my head. But
I hate that you put that up. It's been distracting me all podcast.
I bet. Easy, big fella.
Yeah. So calm down over there.
Anyways, about splitting up the belts, I think we're, again, in agreement, like the brand extension, that they need to split the belts up. Matt, why don't you start off with this one?
Yeah, first of all, people who are getting mad at my post obviously didn't even read it, especially that guy obviously didn't read the post, because if you read it, my comment was they're not going to be retiring it, and I was just making sure people knew that. That didn't make sense. WWE wants to keep both belts on TV because that's double the merchandise they can sell. They can sell a WWE Championship and a World Heavyweight Championship. More money in their pockets. Smart business decision. It makes sense. And Flair gave the title to somebody as soon as he got in the back. Don't worry. Cena's not going to lose both the titles. He's still a champion. But splitting up the titles I think it needs to happen. I think there's not enough, or there's too many talent, rather. There's too much talent backstage for there to be only one title. I think, and there are a lot of guys who could benefit, because I don't care what you say. The World Heavyweight Championship, I mean, I think maybe there was one time where it was a little bit more televised. I don't know if it was even bigger. I don't think it's ever been bigger than the WWE Championship. But I think there was one time where it was more televised and you saw it more.
I think you're referring to Triple H when he carried the Heavyweight Championship while Eddie Guerrero carried the WWE Championship.
Right, yep.
The period there in 2003.
Yep, exactly what I was referring to. But I think right now there are tons of guys who can benefit from holding the World Heavyweight title who aren't ready for that WWE Championship. Guys like a Roman Reigns, I think he could truly benefit from being World Heavyweight Champion right now. Give him time to work on his mic ability, because he's got that look to be a heavyweight champion. A guy like Bray Wyatt would be a perfect heavyweight champion. I could even see a guy like Big E Langston, if he could, figure some kind of gimmick out of some kind. I think he could be a heavyweight champion. But having them combined, it kind of throws those guys out. It's not allowing them any of these opportunities. And a guy like Big E, I haven't seen him in 2-3 weeks. Where the hell is he? Or no, actually, he wrestled last night.
Well, as far as you say on that one, you say you haven't seen him in 3 weeks. Well, 3 ain't enough, man. I need 5.
I wasn't accurate though. He wrestled Cesaro, I think, right? Last night. I'm pretty sure
if that's what you want to call it. if that's what you want to call it, wrestling. Before we have Alec weigh in on the splitting of the belts, Westlin Coleman says on Twitter, biggest rope breaker on the planet? RKO's Aaron Mason. So it's officially on. We might have to Photoshop a picture of Aaron Mason and Westlin Coleman going nose to nose there for the biggest rope breaker. Although the main man, Brandon Manuel, it looks like he may be watching right now. It could be argued that he might be vying for the biggest rope breaker in the world. And if you're watching right now and you're not one of those three names, you're going, what the hell? I'm the biggest rope breaker. Let us know. If you think you are the main event, then let us know, and we'll shout you out. But right now we've got 5 viewers viewing live. That ain't enough. If you guys want to win a giveaway, if you want a prize to be given away, you've got to get 10 more. And I'm holding these up because I know some wrestling fans cannot count.
Oh,
we need
man.
10 more viewers, and then we will give shit away. And hopefully you're listening to headphones and your mom didn't hear AuSSy swear there. That would be terrible. I don't want your moms to judge me without seeing the people's strudel first.
Insulting our fan base by telling them that they can't count. It's not how we get more viewers.
I did not say rope break fans. I said wrestling fans.
They're not wrestling fans?
If anybody's been to a live event before, you see some of those effing people that are crawling around there, it gets a little bit sketchy. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah.
It's the truth. It's true. It's true. It's true.
So just to clarify, if you're a rope break fan, that did not apply to you. We love you guys.
And now we're up to 6 viewers.
See?
So now,
me telling them, see that? I told them I loved them. We got another viewer.
Let's do a brief math challenge now. To those of you watching on YouTube and Twitter. Before, we needed 10 viewers. Then, one more viewed, one more tuned in. Now, how many viewers do we need before we give something away? Tweet us the right answer, and you might be in first place for the prize if we do end up getting 7. Man. We're up to 7 now. That's another math problem. Ratings are skyrocketing. Once I say the word prize, people are like, "Oh shit!" It's like the Batman signal. They see it and they're like, "Oh god, they're giving away a prize. They're giving away a prize. I gotta watch." All right, so Alec, why don't we? I'll stop running my yak here, and why don't you tell us what you think about splitting the belts?
Just short and sweet. The belts do need to be split. Going off what Matt said, there are guys that will benefit from holding the heavyweight championship belt who aren't ready for the major WWE title, and having them together hurts a lot of people. I guess in a way it hurts the company too, because you really have to comb through everybody and choose one central guy who's going to represent your company on the shows and media, live appearances, wherever it is. So if you split those titles, then there's more opportunities to choose from, different guys to choose from, instead of just having one central character to base your storylines around.
Agreed, 110%.
Absolutely agree.
Just like brand extension, splitting the titles gives for more storylines, in turn more people over. It's possible that had the belts been split up this entire time, we would not be seeing Cesaro losing steam, Big E Langston losing steam, a number of guys that could have been main eventers by this point if there were 2 belts. And, they're losing steam. And we did see, apparently, Paul Heyman was fired by Cesaro. That's not something that we really need to touch on. But I think I can speak for the entire panel here when I say that's a good move, because he's lost a lot of heat since hiring Heyman.
Absolutely agree. And with that being said, I need to really quickly take a rope break. Like you see what I did there? You like that?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I take a quick rope break. I'm gonna plug in my laptop because we don't want to have my laptop die right in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I mean, speak for yourself, Jabroni. Some of these viewers might not give a shit. You know what I mean? So Well, oh, look at that. Matt's gone. Everybody, let's rejoice. Well, we have a brief moment here alone, just you, Alec, and I. Berkeley Pierre, he jumps on and he makes a resounding statement that I couldn't have said better myself. He says, y'all need more views. You're damn straight we need more views. Why? Because, Berkeley, you know it. King Tracy Shiny Hunts knows it. Alex Henry knows it. Aaron Mason knows it. Westlin Coleman knows it. Brandon Manuel knows it. Best damn show on YouTube. Period.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because why? Not only do you see these three handsome gentlemen here, but we're giving you stuff. We're giving you stuff for free. For free.
People don't like free stuff. Apparently, I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Right now we're at 6 viewers. We need to, at one point, have 15 viewers, and we're giving something away. I might give something right off my effing wall. I might just peel down a piece of my own personal collection and send it to you for free. But anyways, on to the next topic. Let's talk briefly about Sting. Very briefly. Last night, obviously, the Vianet, he's going to be in 2K. Today, it's being reported. Let me see. What do we have here? We confirmed that he was asked today if he may appear live on WWE television shows as a part of the 2K15's promo campaign. Sting said this: I'm all for it. Just put it that way. I'm all for it. And you know what that translates in Sting language to? It's showtime. I think that he will definitely be on the show. This is what we talked about yesterday, Matt and I, on the episode of React, which, by the way, if you don't know, every Monday Night Raw after the show, every single Monday Night Raw after the show, we do a reaction show. Normally it'll be all three of us. Last night it was Matt and myself, and we covered Sting and his Vianet and how people were pissed that he wasn't physically there. And what we came to the conclusion was this is a good thing because it means that he is eventually going to make an appearance in the ring. Whether you believe that or not, he's going to. So real quick, guys, when do you think Sting makes his first appearance? This is a real shot in the dark. Obviously, we don't have any special sources or anything like that that are telling us this, but I'm interested to know what you guys think. Do you think it's not until the WrestleMania push? Do you think it's within the next couple of weeks, just because obviously there's a huge buzz surrounding it and they could get a lot of eyeballs on the effing show if they get Sting on there? So when do you guys think?
I would have to say, honestly, if I were pressed, probably won't happen until Road to WrestleMania, and I say that because right now they're so heavy in storylines, I don't see a place for him other than just being there. And if you're going to have Sting on your show, you better put him somewhere, have him doing something. Obviously, there's a spot open for manager, general manager of Raw. It could be interesting, but I think their main goal is to get him in their Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. So I think seeing them as I don't think he'll show up until the Road to WrestleMania season. Maybe March, maybe February, but I think it's going to be a little bit. That's just my opinion. He could show up earlier, I don't know, and I would not mind that one bit.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the game comes out, I think it's October 28th, so I don't think they'll do anything with him then. I do agree with Matt says maybe it's more towards the WrestleMania push, just to kind of boost the numbers, boost the network, whatever it may be. But yeah, I don't see Sting appearing, anytime soon at all.
Okay, fair enough. Here's a little bit more of info for you guys. And this is because Rope Break Wrestling goes out there and gets this information for you. The reports I'm reading are coming from a website called Mirror, www.mirror.co.uk. Aaron Mason, maybe you can help us out. What is the Mirror? over there in the UK. Is that is it a newspaper or something? Is what it appears to be. But the Mirror's Rob Lee, who actually sat down with Sting and conducted this interview. We're not seeing any video or anything like that. But here's a couple other little quotes that I want to give you guys. Some pretty big shit here that he went out to say. Speaking exclusively to the Mirror about his about his debut in the WWE's forthcoming video game, he admits the opportunity to finally make his mark in the company that won the Monday Night Wars. Blah blah blah. He says, "Why now? It's a now or never thing. I've done so many things in the wrestling business, but the one thing I'd never done before was wrestle or be a part of the WWE family. I didn't want to hang it up and retire and disappear again without having done that in some capacity." He then goes on to say, "I've made it clear I'd love to have one last hurrah, one last big match, hopefully. And of course, I've been outspoken about Undertaker being the opponent. I know what happened at WrestleMania where Brock Lesnar broke his streak. I think, or at least I'm hoping, that Taker's still going to come back and that he's not done. If he's not done and he would consider doing it, I'd love to work with him one time. I'd love to wrestle him one time before I call it quits." He then goes on to say, Undertaker maintained a status in wrestling and WWE that's second to none. He's a phenomenon. Then here it is right here, and this is left out for all of us to go out and make our opinions on. He says he was asked when and where would his dream match take place, and he said this: "How about San Francisco, 2015 in April?" So it's clear Sting wants a WrestleMania 31 matchup versus The Undertaker. It's clear as day, as long as that report is correct. And Aaron Mason, he says it's one of the country's biggest newspaper companies. So obviously this is a very reliable source that we're dealing with here. It's not some bullshit. And we're going to have something. We'll give you that interview up on ropebreakwrestling.com if we can, as soon as possible after the show. Some interaction on YouTube. Chris Real Life says, "Best YouTubers on YouTube. You guys are awesome."
Thank you.
And
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it a lot, Chris. And
we really do.
I love to do this because I know Matt will, say something about quitting. He's going to quit, and Alec must already know it's coming. But yes, we are the best YouTubers on YouTube, and you guys are not awesome, but awesome.
I knew it was coming. I knew it.
All right.
And the screen has gone black again.
Let's go ahead and we're going to take questions now because we have about 15 minutes left here with you guys, and it doesn't look like you're going to reach the 15 viewers, but keep on pushing. If you reach 15 viewers just for 1 second, for one taint hair of a second, we will be giving away something. And those people on YouTube, Aaron Mason and Sato, they both want that CM Punk poster that I've been hanging above my above me over here behind. It's replaced by the WrestleMania 30 poster today. But you know what? I'll raise the ante up right now. If you guys can make 15 viewers happen, that CM Punk poster, I'll give it away. I'll give it away tonight if you can make 15 viewers happen. But right now, we're going to go ahead and take some questions and some comments from you guys on YouTube. Let's see, what can we start with here? King Tracy Shiny Hunts is wanting us to talk about CM Punk being moved to the alumni section of WWE.com. And my man Alec down there, he had this story, and it's up on ropebreakwrestling.com. Alec, why don't you go ahead and give us kind of a background for those that don't know, what do you, and obviously your opinion on it as well.
Well, obviously since CM Punk left after the Royal Rumble, he quit, whatever. But the thing was, his profile remained on the current roster page, which you guys can go look at, and it was up there for months. And we would check it, weekly, like, oh, is Punk still there? Punk's still there. He's still a featured superstar on the website. And today I'm browsing the internet, and I'm on Reddit, and I see someone post CM Punk has been moved to the alumni section. So go to www.com, and sure enough, there's CM Punk's profile, on the alumni section of WWE.com. So it his contract expires on Thursday, so it appears that WWE is basically making it official. Punk's done. We're moving on.
Yeah, it's actually pretty sad. I'm not gonna lie. I know the three of us here are huge CM Punk fans. Anybody that's a fan of good wrestling, as far as technical wrestling goes, and as far as getting on the mic and making shit happen goes, CM Punk is without a doubt one of the best. And he was held down for a very long time, and you have to wonder what could have been if he propelled to that main event status before the summer of Punk. And obviously, as Aaron Mason is pointing out to us on YouTube page, he did tweet just 6 minutes ago while we were live here. A lot of people showing their support, thanking him on Twitter for all the hard work he's given us over the years. Just 6 minutes ago, he tweeted out, "Nope, thank you. Thanks for all the help and support through the years. Health and happiness above all. Don't ever take any shit from anybody." And you can go right on Twitter. We retweeted that tweet, so if you follow us at Rope Break Wrestling or at Rope Break Wrestling, you can see that tweet there. So it appears that this is, the important piece of that tweet is health and happiness above all. So it's clear that he's happy and he's healthy and he wants to leave it at that, and he's done. So with that being said, Matt, do you ever think he comes back?
Oh, I don't think it's ever going to be out of the question. A guy who loves wrestling as much as he does, to think that he'd be done permanently. No, I think that there's still a great chance that he comes back somewhere down the road, maybe a few years from now. But as for right now, he'll be done for a while. We won't see him anytime soon. But yeah, I can't see him being done forever, and maybe that's just the fan in me hoping that he comes back, because he could add such a great element to the program. But if he's healthy, he's happy, he's doing what he's doing, let him be, let him do what he's got to do.
Right.
But I do hope that he comes back. I think that he will eventually come back.
Yeah, like you said, let him do what he's going to do. Question is, and like you said, it could just be the fan in me as well. But I don't know. There's just still that little piece of wrestling fan in me. Like I said yesterday, I don't want to be worked. I don't want. I don't want to sleep and then wake up and CM Punk, surprises the shit out of me. It would be excellent if he did, but I don't want to be that guy that finally submits and says, "All right, he's not coming back," and there he is. And I said that to Matt last night on the podcast. So yeah, we're all holding out hope that he shows up for WrestleMania 31 or something, even if it's just part-time or for a couple more matches. Just really shitty the way he went out. And it's not his fault. I don't fault him like a lot of people do, but I feel like he needs a proper send-off. At least get in that ring one more time so people can, give him the thank you, Punk, or you know what I mean. So I think we're all holding out hope that something like that happens. But right now, we've got 10 minutes left in the podcast, and we've got we're gonna host some rapid fire questions right now. So if you guys want to ask us a question, the three of us will give a one-word or a couple-word answers, and we'll rip through as many as we possibly can. Ask us anything. It doesn't have to be wrestling related. We obviously are prone to probably answer it if it is wrestling related, but anything you guys can think of, ask us. We'll answer it rapid fire. Right now, we're going to take the first one from Berkeley Pierre. Berkeley says, Seth Rollins replacing CM Punk? Question mark. No. Matt?
Nope. I don't think anybody can replace CM Punk. And going into it like that, I don't think it's fair to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins, and they're two completely different styles. I get where you're coming from. They look similar, but no, definitely not replacing Punk.
Yep, CM Punk is irreplaceable, so no.
And, this is not a Beyonce song, but yes, CM Punk is irreplaceable. Let's see. All right. Once again, we're waiting in on your questions. We've got plenty of right now. We'll do a little bit of comments that have been saying. King Tracy Shiny Hunt says CM Punk blocked me on Twitter. I didn't think I was being offensive. I just asked him to change his Twitter name from Coach. Alex Henry says, I'll post on my Instagram. I've got 1,000 followers. There's bound to be someone that will tune in.
We appreciate the hell out of that.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. You've got 8 minutes left and 6 viewers, so obviously you need 9 more people. 9 more people to tune in and fast within the next 8 minutes, all at the same time. Let's see here. We've got some questions. Aaron Mason says, what do you think of Kenta being signed to WWE and his finisher being the G2S, go to sleep? The GTS, you mean? He says the G2S, the go to sleep. Do you think WWE will reference it? I'm excited for Kenta. I do not think it will be called the GTS. I do not think they will reference it. He might not even be allowed to use it. Matt, what do you think?
No, I'm really excited for Kenta. Probably one of the greatest wrestlers, period. Not even in this generation, period. If you've ever watched any of his stuff, go to YouTube after this is done. Don't do it right now because that's rude. We're in the middle of the show. Do it after we're done, and then go to YouTube, watch Kenta versus Daniel Bryan. Watch all phenomenal. Excited to have him there. I don't think he'll be using. I can't see him using the GTS, and they definitely won't call it that. Also, another thing to throw in there, Daniel Bryan also took his running knee. The running knee that Daniel Bryan does as a finisher is also a move from Kenta that they both took. So I don't think he'll be using that either. But he's got such a vast arsenal of maneuvers, I think he'll be okay.
Absolutely. I'm super excited for Kenta. He's, like Matt said, he's one of the best wrestlers. He's definitely one of the, if not the best Japanese talent. So WWE made a huge move in signing him. So I'm excited to see what happens with him in NXT and in the future. So yeah, Kenta, super excited for it.
Okay, so the next question we're going to take is from Westlin Coleman on Twitter. He says, what do you guys think is Plan C? If Brock is Plan B, what else could Paul have in store? Or is Brock really Plan C? The way I'm going to say it is Rollins is Plan B, Brock is Plan C. Alec, what do you think?
I agree with you. I think, Rollins is Plan B. He's in the Authority's back pocket. So if Cena wins, Rollins cashes in, whatever. And since, Heyman said, I have a foolproof plan, then that's obviously Brock Lesnar. So yeah, Brock Lesnar's Plan C.
I'm going to have to disagree with you guys. I think Plan C, I'm sorry, it's got to be done. I think Plan C is actually Plan Carlito. He's making his return to the... No, I'm just kidding. He's not making his return to the roster. Oh, boy. No, I actually think that Plan B is actually Plan Brock Lesnar. And I'm wondering... cause that's what I thought all along. I know people are thinking Plan B is going to be Seth Rollins, but they kind of... they already told you, we have a Plan B, and it's almost too obvious for me. Obviously, everybody's going to think Plan B is Rollins. But everybody already knows he's there. Plan B would make more sense to be Plan Brock. And then Plan C, I would, it could be, and it's obviously not going to be CM Punk since he's now an alumni. I wouldn't be surprised if it was maybe Cesaro who was Plan C. And maybe we don't see Cena drop the titles. Maybe they change it up and have Cesaro versus Brock Lesnar going into whatever to kind of build up Cesaro. for the title. Who knows? But I feel like Plan C will be someone like Cesaro. I think Plan B and Plan C are going to be both Paul Heyman guys, because he was excited about Plan B too. When he mentioned Plan B, he's like, I really like Plan B a lot. And then he said, and if you don't have that, then I also have Plan C. That's kind of what he said. Right. So people saying, him saying Plan C is Brock Lesnar, I'm like, no, Plan B sounds like it's going to be Brock Lesnar. That's why he's so happy about it. And if Plan B doesn't work out, he also has a Plan C. Which it could be vice versa. It could be Plan C. I don't know. I feel like Plan B all along is Brock Lesnar, but we'll have to wait until Sunday to see that.
We will, and Aaron Mason's still sticking by his prediction that CM Punk. Hey man, if he's right, holy hell!
Listen, I'm not gonna.
That would be.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna question his views on life, because we did that once before. And we look like complete jackasses, as he said yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to say, hey, he could be right. I'm going to be surprised as hell if it's CM Punk. I think that'd be amazing, an amazing swerve. And, hey, they might have moved him to the alumni page to get guys like me to be, like us, to be like, oh, he's completely done.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I wouldn't put it past CM Punk to fool us all. But we've only got 3 minutes left, so let's finish up some of these questions. Alex Henry says, Roman Reigns replacing Daniel Bryan. Ooh, excuse me. Your Tums.
that is
burping up my dinner here. All right. He says, Roman Reigns replacing Daniel Bryan. No. Come on, Alex. You're better than that. You're related to Mark Henry. How do you think that a big Samoan guy is replacing a AuSSy-sized goat?
Yeah,
what do you guys think?
Well, I think that's kind of rude, calling him goat. I mean, hasn't the guy been knocked down enough? I mean,
yeah.
But seriously though, no, he's not replacing it. I mean, did Rock replace Austin? Did Austin replace Jake the Snake? No. I mean, Jake the Snake left, so maybe that's not the best example, because he did leave. Technically, he did replace him, but that wasn't the intention, I don't think. But no, like The Rock never replaced Stone Cold, and I'm not trying to make the comparison that Roman Reigns or Daniel Bryan are anywhere near those two guys, but they're not replacing. It's just the next guy to take the main event spot. And I'm hoping in the future this makes it so there's more than one main event guy, because I think that was their downfall, having John Cena be their only main event guy. Like, no, after a while, it's like, what if you go to a restaurant that only serves one thing on the entire menu, and it's like chicken? You're going to keep going there every day? After a while, you can be like, all right, this shit is boring. I'm going elsewhere. That's the same thing with Cena. If all you get is Cena, it's not his fault. It's just the way it works. It's boring. So, yeah, I think it's just they're building more than one main event guy. That's what it seems like. Daniel Bryan will come back. They'll feud. Cesaro hopefully will be in the main event. Wade Barrett will be making his way up to the main event, and we'll have more than one main eventer to work from. So I think that's what's going on, not that he's taking his place.
All right. Alec?
No, Reigns isn't taking his place. He's just the next guy in line, and they have to speed up his push to get him where they want him to be. So no, he's not replacing. He's just the next guy to be the main eventer.
All right, I agree with the both of you guys. Now, Alex Henry will get the last laugh here, because he comes on and says, after I said he's related to Mark Henry, mind you, his name is Alex Henry, he says, is that a fat joke? And then he said he was obviously kidding. But I told him, no, it's a last name joke. Somebody go and get their ass whipped. Now, unfortunately, we did not reach 15 viewers. Ratings are down. Right now, we're like WCW in 2001. Apparently, we're just not cutting the mustard. So we really, really, honestly, guys, all joking aside, we really appreciate the few of you guys that do tune in to each episode of Rope Break Radio. If you're a newbie here, we really appreciate you tuning in and sticking with us here. Sorry we couldn't come through with the prize for you this time around, but I will keep that offer on the line. If we do get 15 viewers on an episode of React or an episode of Rope Break Radio, I will give away my personal CM Punk poster. So to those of you that want that, keep spreading the word. Word of mouth is the best form of getting the word out. You can share our page on Facebook. You can like, share, and subscribe this video once we're done. You can follow us on Twitter. But the most important thing and the biggest thing that you could do for us as a favor is tell your friends that watch wrestling, hey, have you guys checked out Rope Break Wrestling? The kids are kind of tools, but no. That AuSSy character is pretty hilarious. Matt is kind of a doofus. No, but all joking aside, again, like I said, we really, really do appreciate you guys, and we try to show that by giving you free shit. Like I said, we get you free shit, and we eat ramen noodles because of it. And I'm not knocking ramen noodles, but for Alec, for Matt, for myself, for rope breakers all across the world, this has been Rope Break Radio episode 13. We are looking for sponsors. We are looking for fans. We are looking for writers, graphic designers, anything. So if you guys think you've got what it takes, email me at AuSSy@ropebreakwrestling.com. Until next time, which will be our Battleground pay-per-view prediction show later on, right before the pay-per-view itself. Coming up this Sunday, and then we will have a live episode of React during the entire pay-per-view. You can watch and react to the pay-per-view with us. Thanks again for watching. For Alec, for Matt, for RopeBreakWrestling.com, I'm AuSSy. This has been Rope Break Radio episode 13. Take a hike, jabronis.